Guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all well. I'm Andrea and this is Beauty with Andrea. Thank you for joining me today. So this is going to be a video about products that I regret buying or that I don't get as much use out of in my collection, but I don't want to declutter just yet. Yeah, so it's mainly like products that I think that aren't worth the hype. Now a big one for me was, I've spoke about this recently, I just don't know I'm going to ever be able to use this, so it's going to be in an upcoming declutter. And I'm really sad because Collection is normally a good brand. So yeah, I'm going to link the video to this just somewhere in the cards if you haven't already seen it. And it's the Collection Primed and Ready HD Blur Setting Powder. I've done like a little review on this, so I don't want to talk too much about it in this video. But yeah, this is the worst product I've ever had in my collection, to be honest. I mean, I've used quite a few powders down the years, and this one is just a hot mess. It's full of fine particles of glitter, like I've said in the little review that I did. It's not a long review, so I'll just leave it in the cards. So that's that one. And then we've got this one now. I feel like everyone absolutely loved this palette when it first came out. There are a lot of palettes, so yeah, we do need to get into it. And it's the Chloe Morello and Ciate Pretty Fun and Fearless Volume 2 palette. The Volume 1 looked quite nice, but I missed that one. The only thing that I liked from this collection, it came in like a little pack. The only thing that I actually like is the lipstick, and that's in the shade Sydney. And I do actually like a few of the eyeshadows from the palette, but I have tried to sell it on my Depop and nobody seems to want it, so I'll obviously have to keep it in my collection. I really like these two greens down here because I don't really have a lot of greens like that in my collection. That one's called Chartreuse and that one's called Soul. Otherwise, like the browns and the golds, they just look so similar. It's almost like it's a neutral palette with a few shades of pop of colouring, and I know you do get that a lot, but I just thought they would perform a little bit better than they did. Like I've said this before, I think I've done a review on this palette. So this lavender shade here, Baby, is one of the worst shadows in the palette. So that's it there. And look at it, I've just swatched it here and you can't even see it on my hand. So yeah, they're just really underwhelming, and even though I got this in the sale, I think it was around £40 originally, and I got it for like 20 or 25 and you got like the eyeliner, the lipstick and this palette. If I would like the entire palette, it would be well worth it. I think that one as well, I think that platinum shade, it doesn't perform that well. It performs better than Baby, but you can, yeah, it's just a bit blah for me. And you know, I think it obviously did well because of Chloe Morello's name on it. You know, I've got nothing against Chloe Morello. I'm just thinking about this from a consumer's point of view. I really didn't like using it. I've used it, I probably used it about a week when I first got it, and I've not used it since, so I do need to get more use out of it. Maybe at some point put it in a project pan just to get it out of the collection. I don't really want to give it to anyone just because, well, I really do like the packaging, and some of the eyeshadows in there are quite nice. It's not all a big fail, but I just would have thought it would have been better than it was. So yeah, that is one of the products I regret buying. Another one is this one by Tarte, but this one is more about me. I think it's more about me and the type of eyeshadows that I like. So this one is the Amazon Escape Volume 2, and I don't think I've used the eyeshadows in this ever since I bought it. I've swatched them just because, I mean, you can see that the name's still on there and everything. It's just mainly the smoky eye shades there, like those three eyeshadows there. But I'm going to try and use it. I'm going to pull it out in an upcoming Shop My Stash. just because I love this blusher so much. It's such a great blush, and it's one of those like that are right up my street, that have got sheen on them. So it's, sorry, I'm not even, it's that one there. Really pretty. Tarte do the best blushes and the best formulas that I know, so that's the reason why it's probably stayed in my collection for as long as it has. And this one here would perform like a bronzer on my skin tone. So yeah, I do want to use it, but in a way I regret buying it, because I'm sure that I could have just bought a blusher from Tarte like that, with that kind of undertone. But yeah, they're not cheap, are they, the Tarte palettes? So yeah, I do regret buying that. This is another one I regret buying, but I'm keeping hold of it. I've used this recently in my Shop My Stash, which I'll also leave in the cards. It's a Smashbox Full Exposure. Now I'm still in two minds whether to declutter it, just because of all the glitter shades here. Now I did say in the Shop My Stash that I do like the mattes, and I do, but I don't want to keep hold of a palette to be using half the palette, especially when I've got so many eyeshadow palettes in my collection as well. I could just give this to someone who will get a lot of use out of it, so I'm thinking about doing that. This palette isn't the worst palette in the world, but it's not the best. It's got such a lovely packaging, and it's the Smashbox Cover Shot Ablaze Eye Palette. Everyone seems to like these, and I do like some of the shades in here. Like, I like this gold here, and I like this gold here. But for the most part, I don't really use like burgundy red shades, and I think that's probably why I'm not getting along with it. And at some point I'll probably end up decluttering that as well, but for now I want to keep it and just try and get a little bit more use. Speaking of red burgundy tone shades, sorry about that, my external light started going on me. So I've just opened the curtains and I'm using the most of the daylight. It is only 7 AM though in the UK. As per usual, I can't sleep, so let's crack back into the video because it's going to be quite a long one, I think. So as I was saying, the next one is more about red toned and burgundy toned eyeshadows. Now at the time when I bought this, I thought I would use it. It looked beautiful online when I saw it. And it's the Kylie Burgundy palette, the Burgundy palette eyeshadow palette. I've just not had a lot of use out of this, and I paid an absolute fortune in it for it. So it just looks like that. It's absolutely beautiful packaging. And yeah, as you can see, they're mainly all like burgundy tones. So you've got all these here that are burgundy and the dark browns at the bottom. I just won't use them. Like that gold there I'll probably use, and then them three at the top. So I just think it's a waste of money. Again, like with the Chloe Morello one, I did try and sell this on Depop, but no one seemed that interested, just because it is an older palette. Like the formula itself, from what I remember, is okay. Like that's yeah, they are quite pigmented, but yeah, I just don't like the burgundy tones. I mean, that one looks quite crumbly now. It's probably because it's getting old. So yeah, I'm gonna have a think about what I want to do about it. It just cost me so much money. I think, you know, I was paying like £45 for it by the time I got it shipped, and had customs, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, it's not great. I need a white really. Right, and then these ones are really disappointing, just because they're such high-end palettes. So we've got this one by Christian Dior. And it's the Dior Glow Designer palette. So let's take these brushes out. So you get 4 small eyeshadows, a blush. The blush isn't too bad, if I'm being honest. And then you get three little lipsticks, and the lipsticks aren't bad, it's just the eyeshadows that I have a problem with, and it was an expensive palette. So yeah, I definitely don't think this is worth the money. A lot of the eyeshadow palettes that I've swatched by Dior aren't worth the money, if I'm being honest. I've just dropped something now. And then we've got this one by YSL. Same thing there. The packaging is so bougie, it's beautiful, and the blusher I really like. But when it comes to those eyeshadows, I just don't think they're pigmented. They should be more pigmented for the cost of the palette, and the fact that it's YSL, you'd think that it would be more pigmented. That's what it looks like. They always swatch better on my hand, but can you see it's not really that pigmented? So yeah, those two are definitely two of the top products that I regret buying, but obviously I'm going to keep them in my collection just because they cost too much money to be giving away. Then it's this one. I barely got any use out of this at all. My sister bought me this for Christmas one year, and it's the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. And like with the Tarte one, I don't think it's the palette's fault, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's more about personal preference, but I do need to use this more than, well, I've used it probably about once or twice. As you can see from the palette, it's not had much wear at all. So I do need to start getting this out in my Shop My Stash and just trying to focus on it. I think the problem is there's no shimmers in the palette, so you know, it's basic. I've got a Urban Decay Matte Basics palette, and I'd rather pull the smaller one than this great big thing, if I'm being completely honest, but I don't have it in my heart to sell it or, you know, pass it on to someone just because it's quite sentimental and it's off my sister. But the packaging is so gorgeous, isn't it? So yeah, that's that. Then we've got two more palettes. Now, I like Morphe as a brand, but I don't know what possessed me to buy both these palettes because they are just so similar. So we've got the 35F, which is all the frosted shades, which I absolutely love. But most of them just haven't got any use. I'd say like from here and down here, and even down here, I've just not used them. I really like the fact that they've got mattes in, because the other palette that I've got by Morphe doesn't, which is the 35 OS, which is the shimmer. Now if I was only to keep one, it would be this one, just because I've got mattes in my collection. Like I could use the Urban Decay, what's it called, Ultimate Basics palette for the mattes, but yeah, it is getting quite older now, but I absolutely love that shade there. That shade is probably what's making me keep hold of this palette, and that one there, like the orange toned base shades. Like the darker ones, I don't like them. Like all these like dark browns here, like I just don't like them at all, and I would probably pass this on if it didn't have like shades like this. And I know there's only like 3 shades there, but there are gold tones as well. I'm going to be testing this out in an upcoming Shop My Stash, and if I really don't get along with it and I only like those orange tone shades, because there are only 3 in the palette, I will pass it on. It's just not worth keeping this great big bulky palette for that reason. So yeah, that's those two. Then this LA Girl, I've had this in a Shop My Stash recently, and it's the LA Girl Blush Collection Pinky. And the only reason, I'll be honest, that I'm keeping this is for the highlight. The highlight is quite pretty, so that's what it looks like, and it's a perfect tone for me. I don't even think you can see it. The blushes themselves, like this blush here, I don't think I've ever used. I've only ever swatched it. It's far too bright for my skin tone. This one is even too bright. But if you like use a like duo fibre blush brush, it's fine. And then the bronzer, just, it looks kind of orange toned on my skin. So yeah, I am thinking about actually decluttering this. So yeah, that might be going in an upcoming declutter. This, I bought this recently just because I have got one from the Body Shop, and it's shade adjuster, and it's in quite a big pack, isn't it? You know, so I thought that looks quite big, maybe I'll get that and then I can throw the other one out. So can you imagine my horror when I got home, and basically that's the size of it. It is tiny, teeny tiny. It's 5 mils. My other one by the Body Shop I think is 15 mils or 25 mils, I can't remember. I'll leave that. But the reason I put this back in the drawer is because I want to use the other one up first. But the dropper on the Body Shop one doesn't work properly, so that is another product that I'd also never get from the Body Shop, the shade adjusting drops. This one is better because it's got obviously a nozzle on it and you just pour it onto your hand, but it's not going to last 5 minutes, and it is quite expensive. I got it, I think there was 10 or 15% off, and it was still like £6.50 for that little bit. So yeah, I probably wouldn't get that again. I'd probably try and find a bigger one, because all the shade adjusting drops are the same really. So well, in my opinion they are anyway. Then I've got 2 products here that I've only used I've only used this one once. This one is in my Shop My Stash for this next fortnight. I've used it a few times and I'm just not getting along with it. It's just, it barely transfers onto the skin. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's 2 quite heavily swatches, and yeah, it's in the shade Calypso. When I bought it, that's the only shade they had. And then we've got this one as well, which I did say when I pulled them that they might actually be going in a declutter. So this one is the Soap and Glory Love at First Blush. My niece might like this, and it's not a bad product, but I've got nicer blushes in my collection and I want to concentrate on them. And it just says that it's Pink, Pop and Pearl, so yeah, they're definitely being decluttered. Right, not everyone could agree with me on this because everyone seems to love this product, and I am just learning how to use it properly for my skin tone, but I think this is not worth the hype, to be honest, and it is so expensive as well. And it's the Universal bronzer by Chanel. So it's the Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronze Universal, and I like it, don't get me wrong, but like when I first got it and I was learning how to use it, it just made my skin tone look really orange. But now that I've figured out how to use it, like putting it under foundations in the areas that I want to, it does make it look quite glowy, but I wouldn't repurchase it just because I'm not getting enough use out of it, and in my mind it is a product that is overhyped on YouTube. So yeah, I wouldn't buy that again. This is another product that I'm not really getting along with. It's in the chopping block that I've got, and it's the number 7 Shimmer Palette in Rosé. So that's what it looks like. It's just like a little highlighter shimmer brick. You can't even see it on my hand. It's just here, but you can't see it. I think that will be getting decluttered as well at some point. Something else, I mean, I don't mind it, I don't mind the foundation, but I'm just like, it's in a project pan and I just want it out of my collection now. I wouldn't repurchase it just because there are other foundations. We were discussing this before we got rudely cut off, and it's the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done, and it's kind of like a tinted moisturiser, and I do like it, don't get me wrong, I just don't think it's worth all the hype that was around it at the time when I bought it. You get 40ml, so you do get more product than you would in a normal foundation, and it is great for the summer, but I would just normally go and get a BB cream from Rimmel. I've got a really good one from Rimmel, so I probably would just go there and then like I said earlier, the NARS Sheer Glow is a favourite. I really do like that one, so I'd probably buy that over this. I'm just going to use this up and then get it out of the collection, and like I said, I probably won't repurchase this. Then there's another foundation that I don't think would be a bad foundation if it was in the right shade, but I do think it's oxidising. I've used this today just because it's waterproof and I'm planning on going to the gym later on this afternoon, and it's the Essence Stay All Day 16-hour long lasting makeup. It's in the shade 20, which is soft nude, which just looks like that. And like I said, it is a little bit too dark for me, but I'm almost sure it's oxidising. So yeah, I think for that reason I would get number 10 because it is cheap, and if that does the same thing I wouldn't repurchase that again either, because obviously I don't want a foundation that oxidises. And this shade, really, I don't know what I was thinking. I knew it was too dark for me at the time, because I'm normally the lightest shade in Essence foundations, but I just thought, you know, I could put some light shade adjusting drops in, but I don't like to use shade adjusting drops in foundations anyway. I just prefer a foundation to work for me, whatever shade it is really. Normally I'm like porcelain to ivory, so I'm the lightest shades in a foundation, so that one is just far too dark. Right, now we've got another little box. There's this one here. This is an Estee, I think, an Estee Lauder. No, it's an Elizabeth Arden eyeshadow palette, and it comes with 8 eyeshadows, and I've not used this. But to be honest, yeah, I mean, I know I've swatched it, and I wasn't too impressed with the formula. Like, that blue should be more vibrant than that, and this is why I've included it in this video. The blusher is nice, but still, even that isn't vibrant. So yeah, I'm going to be using it, and if I don't like it, maybe I'll pass this one on to my mum. So yeah, I don't think that's worth the money either. I mean, Elizabeth Arden products aren't exactly cheap. Then we've got a few highlighters from W7. They're only like minis. That, like, this one was the one that they brought out first, I believe. It's W7 Glow Commotion, and this one is really pretty. So that's just like a champagne shimmery colour. And then you got the Glow Commotion Pink It Up, which is alright. I'm going to try and get some use out of it. Not had these that long, so I do need to test them out and see if I want to keep them all. I've got a feeling though I'm only just going to be keeping this one. And then we've got this W7 Prism 3D highlighting powder. They all came in a set. I would never ever buy this one by itself, just because it's like, it's a duochrome one. Let's see if I can. It's like a purple duochrome, and it's not the kind of look I go for, and you can't even see it. So yeah, that's those 3. Like I said, you know, I will keep that one once I've tested the other 2 out, and if I don't like them, I'll declutter them. Then I have this L'Oreal 032 Sassy Marshmallow Colour Infallible. Now, I do like these, I just don't like this shade. So I think, if anything, I think that one will get decluttered. Another thing that will get decluttered is this Manicadar bronzer and highlighter duo. I wanted to keep this initially because I do actually like the highlighter. But I've just decided, you know, I've got enough highlighters, and maybe it's time to get rid of that. And I got it in a, I think either a glossy box or a birch box, so it's no big deal for me to declutter it. Then I have this Face Stockholm Cream highlighter, and I do really like it. It's really pretty. It's a pink shimmer highlighter. Like I said, it's a cream, but I just don't use it. So I'm going to try and use it in probably one of my upcoming Shop My Stash videos, and if I don't like the way it looks, I'm going to declutter that as well. Another thing that I'm not sure about is this Rosy Autograph. Now it's marketed as a Instaglow bronzer, but it's definitely more of a highlighter. I could try and use it as a bronze topper, but for me, like when I bought it, I thought I would get it as a highlighter. So it's just that one there, but as you can see, it's far too dark for my skin tone. It would work when I've got fake tan on, but that's about it, and I don't really want to keep that just to use the odd time when I fake tan. Another item I'm really not sure about is this blusher and highlighter from the Body Shop. I've had this ages as well, and it's the 01 blush shade in Petal. So that's what it looks like, and again I need to pull this and just test it out, and if I don't like it, get it out of the collection. So I will be doing lots of like mini declutters soon. I think this is going to be getting decluttered as well. It's the MUA Bronzed Shimmer Stick, and I just don't think I really like it. Right, so that's what it looks like. Again, I'll test it out. I won't just get rid of it, and I'll see if I like it, but I don't think I do, and I think that will be getting decluttered. I need to get some wipes over here. Then we've got this contour stick. I got this in, I think, either a glossy box or a birch box, and it's the Model Co contour stick, and again it's just too dark, so that's going to be going. That's going to get decluttered. I got this quite a while back. The packaging is so nice. It's from Makeup Geek, and it's one of the duochrome highlighters in the shade Moon Phase. So that's what it looks like. I don't know, it's like a white highlighter with lavender underneath, and I've never ever been sure about this one, to be honest. I mean, I think it will make a beautiful eyeshadow, so I am going to keep it. It's just there, but I don't know if I will keep it as a highlighter. I just, like I said with the Prism one by W7, I don't normally wear highlighters that have got lavender undertones, so that's that one. Then we've got a Kiko one. Now I regret buying this as a blusher, because that's what it's meant to be. It's the Rebel Bouncy Blush 01 in Velvet Peach. Well, it's not peach anyway, it's more of a bronzer, so I'm going to test it as a bronzer, and if I don't like it, again, that will be going. I think it will make quite a nice cream bronzer. That's what that looks like. I thought it smelled, it doesn't smell. Then we have this Smashbox. It's an eyeshadow trio, or that's what it's meant to be. So it just looks like that, and they're the perfect shades, them two. They're almost like dupes for what I'm wearing at the moment in my Body Shop, you know, for my eyebrows, that duo I've got, so I'm going to keep it for that. As eyeshadows, you know, I regret buying it, to be honest, but at the time I wanted to buy some Smashbox eyeshadows. I got it before the Smashbox palette, and everyone was raving about the Smashbox eyeshadows, how good the formula is, so we decided to purchase that, but yeah, I do highly regret it. Then we've just got another little box, and these are mainly all lipsticks. There's one like eyeshadow, this one's by Kiko, and it's one of the metallic shine eyeshadows. This one is in the shade 03, and the reason I regret buying it is just because it's super dark. It's not really an eyeshadow that I would wear, even though I'm going to be testing it out. So that's the shade there, and it is quite matte, so yeah, like my eye creams, I like them to be shimmery, so I don't know why I got that. I think either I got it on the website when they had a sale, or I got it in the shop and I just didn't test it out. So yeah, I do regret buying that one. Then there's this, the Essence I Heart Stage eyeshadow base. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this. I don't suppose it's going to make much difference when you've got your eyeshadow on over the top, but I was actually thinking about decluttering it. I just don't like the shade of it. I mean, that's the shade there. It's like a peach shade. I don't know whether to give it a chance, because quite a few people did say it was a good one to use. So yeah, I might give it a chance, and then if I don't like it, declutter it. I've already said in my previous Shop My Stash that I'm going to declutter this. This was in the shade Rumour Has It, and I'm thinking about giving this to my sister. I'll show you the actual lipstick. It is really, really pretty. Everyday Nude. It's quite matte, so I don't think she'll like it, but if she doesn't, she can either just give it to my niece, or I don't know, it wasn't that expensive, so she can declutter it. Then we have a couple of, well actually 3 Kylie lipsticks. I've got, I think this one needs binning. It looks like it's separating and looks like it's gone bad. So I've got Exposed. I've got King K. I really, really like King K, so I'm going to keep that. That doesn't look like it's separating. And I've got Rain. Rain is really good as well, so I'll keep 2 of those. That one can be binned though. Then I've got this Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick in the shade American Doll. Now I got this when I watched one of Jaclyn Hill videos, and she was doing swatches of all the Anastasia lipsticks, and to be honest, this one looked so nice, super vibrant, but every time I've used it, my lips look really bad on it, and it transfers. And the whole point of these, I thought it was a transfer proof lipstick, but yeah, just look at that colour. It is such a gorgeous blue toned red. So yeah, really like it. I'll be giving it a second chance. It's on my chopping block items. If I don't like it, I'll declutter it. And something else I'm thinking about decluttering is this Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick. Now these are really good. I love the formula, and this one is the darkest one. I got 3 small minis, and this one is in the shade Serenato, and it's really dark brown. Now I don't normally wear dark brown liquid lipsticks. Can you see how dark it is? I don't normally wear shades that dark. Again, I will be testing it just to make sure that I do actually want to declutter it. And finally, it's not finally actually, there's a couple of other things that I want to talk to you about. These are 2 perfumes. Now I absolutely adore my perfumes, and I've got quite a lot in my collection, but there are 2 that I don't really like as much, and I am actually thinking about giving them to my mum. This one is definitely going to my mum. I got it for Christmas one year, and it's the Boudoir Beauty perfume. You get 30 ml of product. It's just too strong for me, so my mum can definitely have that. I'm going to test this for a little bit longer. This is meant to be a dupe for Dior's Poison, and it's in the shade, sorry, not shade, it's called Green Mamba, and you do get 100 ml worth of product. So I'm going to test that out a little bit more, but yeah, they're both, I mean, I didn't pay for this anyway, it was a Christmas present. I got this one and I wish I hadn't, but yeah, I'll just test it out and see what I think. The last thing I want to talk about is Colourpop Super Shock Shadows. Now I absolutely adore Colourpop, but I don't understand why I bought so many similar shades in these Super Shock eyeshadows. Now that's not Colourpop's fault, that's my fault. Like, if I was buying now, I bought these like, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I bought them then, and it was when I was heavily into neutrals. If I was buying them now, I would make sure I have some brights in my collection. They're just so similar. These two aren't, so I won't talk about them. It's just the ones that are similar. Let me just wipe these swatches off, and then I can show you. Especially the bronze toned ones I've got, and I just don't know why I bought some so similar. I think I just really wanted to try out the products, and I just love like bronze gold eyeshadows. Right, first we'll talk about like the lilac lavender ones I've got. So we've got sequin and we've got tinsel. So I'm going to swatch these. Hopefully it won't make the video run that long. Right, so that one is sequin. This one is tinsel. Now tinsel is a little bit darker, but yeah, it's quite a lot darker. So that doesn't prove my point. But they are quite similar in tone. Right, and then I bought two of the telepathy. I got one in one of the Kathleen Lights set, and I bought one off a seller off Facebook who didn't want it. It wasn't her shade, and I bought that before I bought the Kathleen Lights set. I've actually just broken the new one. It fell on the floor, so can you see that? Really like that shade, so I am happy to have two of them in. But these bronze ones, let's just swatch all of these bronze ones. So we've got Game Face, really pretty. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I don't need all of these shades that look the same. So we're just going to swatch the bronze toned ones. Kathleen Lights is up next. I mean, look how similar them two are. I don't believe you need Game Face and Kathleen Lights just because they're going to look so similar on the eyes. It's La La, a bronze one. No, it's kind of rose gold La La. On the rocks, I think that's not. I've just. So really there's only them two, Game Face and Kathleen Lights, that are similar. So that's not as bad as I thought. Then we've got these two, like burgundy maroon shades. So we've got Porter, which is from Kathleen Lights again. I don't know why I got these. I think Porter was in a set anyway, so I had to have it. But I could have got them individually. And then we've got Drift. Again, so similar. And probably would look similar on the eyes as well. They're just different finishes. Right, and then we've got two of the darker shades. So we've got Midnight and Mooning. So these ones that I've barely used, honestly. I do need to get more use out of that. I mean, look at that. That is a gorgeous shade. So that one's Midnight. And then this one is Mooning. Even this one's nice. They are quite different, so it's good to have them. What else do we have? We've got these two that look really similar, La La and Weenie. Look how similar they are. You definitely don't need both of those, and basically there are a few others in here, but that's just me showing you a few examples of how alike all these shadows are in my Colourpop collection. So yeah, I've stopped ordering from Colourpop, as I've said in previous videos, just because I can't justify spending the customs and the shipping fee, and I know you spend shipping fee wherever you order from, but the customs to the UK from America is extortionate. So yeah, I can't justify that anymore. If I see something on Depop and I know that it's a genuine article, like a palette or something, I may get that in the near future, just because there are so many nice eyeshadow palettes by Colourpop, and I haven't tried any of them. I do like the highlighters, but I have only got a couple, and I've got one blush from them. I do really like Colourpop as a brand, but as I said, I can't justify spending any more money on like shipping and customs fees. This is the end of the video now. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you joining me today. Thanks for watching. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would think about doing so.